working remotely to wrap up at least your first of 3 presentations in this class. And so next week, your professional communication assignment. The assignment is due on Monday, and we'll start presenting them Monday and Wednesday and Friday. Midterm grades will be due on Friday, so everything we've done up through Friday will be summated for your midterm grade. But I want to get through all the presentations. We'll do them alphabetically. So next Monday, if we've got 18 or 19 in this class, you can bank on about 6 of you going per day. But day 1 would be Ivana, Nick, Jack, Matt, Taylor, maybe Grayson. And once we get through that, I'll mention the next group for Wednesday. But probably 6 on a given day. Remember, it's only a 5-minute presentation. If you go into the assignment document, you can always see what kind of presentation it is. The one next week, the communication project, is more of what's called a summary report or a summary presentation. It would not be one that I would classify as your tier 1 professional presentation. And that kind of leads me into my first of several points. I'm going to make several points of what I think are the antecedents or the precursors to developing a high-powered or a quality presentation. And so the first thing I would tell you is that you need to know the type of presentation that it is you're planning to give, or the presentation that is assigned to you. And so is it a 5-minute presentation or a 30-minute presentation? There's vast differences between those two. Is it a research report or a summary report? And so obviously I just noted to you that the communication project is more of a summary report. That is much different than a major research report. You may find that some presentations are classified as professional and others are classified as casual. I'll tell you right now, the communication project and the pass-fail or fail-succeed project are casual. Only the professional presentation, the big research one, requires professional dress attire. So again, the type of presentation begins to help you think about how I will approach this. Does it require supportive tech or low tech or no tech? Obviously, the summary report, a 5-minute on presentation of communication, or a 5-minute review on why people succeed or fail, does not require tech at all. We just want you to present material. But if you're going to do a 20 or 30-minute professional presentation, then tech and visual aids, maybe even some video, maybe even a handout, all those things would be of a greater expectation. And again, when you review my assignment documents, you'll see where I say, I want to see this, it's an expectation, or I'm not the least bit concerned about that. So always go back to those assignment documents, whether it be for me or anybody else. Discern, is it a storytelling type of presentation, or are you detailing substantive materials, substantive research? Are you making application? Again, those are big differences. And knowing those will help you as you approach these things. I would tell you that knowing the type of presentation you are giving will help you stay on task so that you can be more successful. The second thing I would always encourage you to do then is to define an outline. Create an outline, and it can be a memory-friendly outline, but I would always encourage you to start by developing a physical outline, a guide for what you want to say and how you want to say it. And so it's easy to remember chunks of information when you have it organized in an outline. An outline is subsequent or sequenced from point A to point B, or intro to body to final closure. Obviously, you can do simple outlines for the 2-minute or the 5-minute presentation. You're probably going to need to have a little more thorough outline for you to prepare for that 20-minute research presentation. But what that outline does is that outline helps you build in the points, the substance. It helps you build in the transitions, how you transition between slides in a PowerPoint, or how you transition from your opening to beginning to review point 1 or point 2, how you transition to video, or how you transition to examples or supportive documents if you've got supportive materials or other things you're using. It helps you transition from one point to another by outlining that ahead of time and then practicing how you're actually going to transition. I encourage you to sub-vocalize your transition. You can actually talk to yourself and kind of talk it through. I want to go do this and this and this. I want to say this and say this. And so you can actually begin to formulate sentences and paragraphs, and by sub-vocalizing them, you don't have to write down word for word where you're going to read it, but you, by saying it and reciting it over and over, you're actually teaching yourself the things that you want to say, and the outline will help you say it at the point in time you want to say it. So talking through it helps you learn it, the main key points. It recognizes the sub-data, but then the outline, a memory-friendly outline for a 2-minute one, or a significant outline for a 20-minute one, helps you stay on time and on task. In speaking on time, if you know the presentation is 20 minutes, you're going to have to create an outline and then walk through it enough times where you can time yourself. I will always tell you, and the research is pretty definitive, most people when they're presenting tend to speed up a little bit and talk a little fast. So if you've got a 20-minute presentation and you really want to nail 20 minutes, you need to prepare about 25 or 26 minutes worth of material, knowing that you're automatically going to speed up. Even if you're conscious and you may control it at a certain point in time, you're going to hurry automatically. You might forget some things and miss some things. You might skip through something that you really wanted to vocalize and you miss it. So you need to over-prepare in order to land in that 20-minute mark or that 10-minute mark, whatever that point is. There's a lot of speaker literature out there, and my third point is the speaker literature would always encourage you to make sure that you nail the first sentence and nail the last sentence of the presentation. And by doing so, looking directly at the people to make that first statement and to close and wrap up by making that last statement. They call those the bumpers or the bookends. Now, the reason why we do that is because it really helps capture the attention of the audience. And when you're presenting, you want to be able to capture the attention of the audience, because if you never engage the audience or you lose the audience, then they're going to be bored and you're going to see it and feel it as a speaker, and you'll know you've lost that battle before you ever got there. So one of the best ways to set yourself up for success is to engage the audience right away, to make sure that you're looking at them as you're talking to them, and you nail that first sentence and you nail that last sentence, and that kind of brings it all together. So that's what I would call a micro point. But lending to that, and actually the one before, is always make eye contact, always engage the folks, always move around, because it allows for you to be able to engage the audience and the audience to stay kind of in the moment, gazing with you, engaging with you, trying to flow with you. If you're moving around and you're looking at them and you're engaging them, then you're more likely going to be able to share and teach and keep them entertained all at the same time. So engaging them, moving around, keeping eye contact, trying not to read your notes is an obvious one. Nobody likes it when somebody stands up here and just reads notes or just reads PowerPoint slides. It's quite boring for the audience. It's actually boring for me as well. So you want to get out of that habit by learning the material, sub-vocalizing it, so that it frees you up to move around, be able to engage the audience, and draw them in to whatever it is you're excited about. If you're really excited about your topic and you want to share it with us, then you make sure that you know it confidently and you can walk around and confidently talk to us about it. And leading into confidence, I would always tell you to give a confident introduction. A lot of times we're not going to know what you're speaking about. So the introduction is what informs us of where it is you're going to go or what it is you're excited about. So a very confident introduction, opening on multiple occasions, opening and establishing your credibility in the subject matter, demonstrates I'm competent about this, I'm excited about this, I've researched this, and I really want to show you this. I really want to share this with you. So I want you to know about it. So that builds credibility between the speaker and the audience, but also engages the audience right away, and particularly what you're going to share, what the substance is, whatever the substantive matter is that you're going to share about your favorite topic. So it demonstrates that you have confidence in it. You're not just faking it and don't know the material. So really having a confident introduction that's sound, that has a lot of information, that highlights some of the research or some of the things you picked up for the communication project, maybe even a funny story to kind of openly break the ice and engage people. But you want to be successful right off the bat. It's kind of like getting out of the gates, whether it be the first moment of a race or the first quarter of a sporting event. You really want to have a good opening crescendo to be able to establish credibility and to get in the mode here. Now, speaking about talking, is as you get going, it is true that all of us tend to talk a little faster when we get excited. Now, some of that is nervous excitement and nervousness. But the truth is, all of us are nervous when we speak. So nervousness in itself is not disastrous. In fact, I would simply say it's expected for you to be nervous. The audience should recognize that you will be a little nervous. So nervous mumbling or nervous rumbling can be overcome as you think through to talk slowly and you think through, even though I'm nervous or I'm an inexperienced speaker, I'm going to work to not mumble my words or slur my words. I'm going to work to not get ahead of myself and then use trite filler words to catch up. And what happens is this: if you start talking fast, your speech gets ahead of your processor, the processing of information. And so then the way for your processor to catch up is you use filler words to slow down, and then your processor catches up. So we don't ever want to run ahead of our processing of substance or information. We want to be able to talk slowly, catch ourselves in the moment, really exaggerate and exacerbate things. So in that regards, we're very conscious about our speech. In some regards, you need to be conscious to slow your speech down, speak clearly, really take those examples slowly, make those tie-ins together. Again, we all expect nervousness, so the best way to deal with it is to be intentional about addressing it. Even taking pauses. To pause for a minute between transitions, examples, substantive information, bullet points, whatever it is where you're transitioning, you can simply pause for a minute, gather your thoughts, and then come back to the audience. By doing that, it prevents you from reading material. Now, I don't have to say don't read. It should be obvious to you by now. But by taking your time and building an outline, having a great opening statement or opening paragraph or opening moments, beginning to introduce us, slowing down, pausing, looking at the audience, all those things combined together will enable you to prevent you from reading your material, but instead will enable you to speak directly to the audience about the material. Now, I would tell you this, and this is something I've seen through the years, is a lot of times we'll create this really fancy PowerPoint, and students or any speaker, it doesn't matter what setting, has a great PowerPoint. And what happens is they turn their attentions and they just read off the slides. Now, whether they have full paragraphs or they have bullets, it doesn't matter. But it's unfortunate to watch speakers read off slides. And that's no good. We want to be competent enough that we know the material, and the slides become the cues. Now, whether you have the slides on your laptop, or you have an outline on your laptop here, or you can just turn and look at the slides, but the slides should be mere cues to move you from point A to point B to point C. You shouldn't have to use the PowerPoint as a way to read the material. What happens is we, the audience, will understand that you don't actually really know the material, or you don't really comprehend it because you're merely just reading it from the slides. And so you want to be careful that you know your material inside and out, and the slides then cue you where to go. Left turn, right turn, examples, next bullet. At this point we have a video, that kind of thing. And that leads to probably the last thing that I think is probably the most important thing. And that is simply to practice your presentations. Practice in front of others. Practice in a similar setting to the setting you're going to be performing in. You see, for most of you as inexperienced speakers, the best way to gain more experience is to simply do it. Practice your presentation in front of your coaches, in front of your teammates. Come into this room when nobody's in here, or bring somebody like Josh and let him tape it for you and do your 20-minute presentation, and then let him tape it, and he'll send you the link. You can go home and reevaluate it. If you really want to do a good job on that, you'll practice in a similar setting to begin to acclimate you to the setting, to to allow you to slow down so you don't have to read, get your cues in line, build in your transitions. A lot of time practicing even pieces of it helps you kind of reformat your outline. I want to make changes, I want to move this up and move this down. I know I need to slow down here because I get excited. So you can actually make notes to yourself by practicing. We recognize that the more we practice, the better we get in sports. Well, the truth is, it's the same in most anything in life. And if you want to become a good speaker, you want to get the substance just right, but also the technique. You'll practice it. Now, I would always tell you that getting the words in the story and the substance and the example, that's important. You've got to have the substance, but you've also got to have the style. And so, having good information by researching it well, organizing it through an outline, and then practicing, and by practicing, sometimes you edit your presentation. Practicing leads you to editing. When it comes to the stage presence, sometimes a little coaching through practicing, watching yourself or having somebody evaluate you, sometimes a little coaching goes a long way. I think one of the biggest mistakes I've seen through the years is students don't rehearse their presentations. They don't rehearse their opening. They're unsure of their ending. They don't have a good ending or bring closure. They don't challenge the students or the audience. They get distracted by watching a video and it fills up too much time. Or they don't come in and prepare in their video and their tech doesn't work and the video plays with no sound, or the sound plays with no audio or no visual. And so all of those issues can be overcome when you come in and practice and you set it up and you get yourself ready for game day. How many of us know that we have to practice in our sports before we're ever ready to get on the field when it actually counts? Now, there are some people who are gifted to speak. Some of you have a little more familiarity. Maybe you did it a little bit more in high school or have done it more in college, or maybe you're just more comfortable as an extroverted kind of person. Now, that helps you a little bit. But whether you're extroverted or introverted, you can develop quality speaking skills. Whether you're vocal or you're not, you can develop quality speaking skills. Whether you've had a ton of experience or very little, you can still develop quality speaking experience and quality competencies. And so these last three presentations for this semester all give you a chance to begin to work on these things, build your speaking repertoire, and then begin to demonstrate it for us. So now, let's talk through each of the three presentations that we have in this class. And I want your feedback here. The first one, next week, is our professional communication. So class, what kind of presentation is that?
It's a friendly, short presentation.
Casual or research?
Casual.
Casual. Now, you did a little research to get there. Not really a whole lot, but it's a casual. What's the length of it?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. So you're gonna stand up here. So for 5 minutes, by the time you do the opening and the closing, that's about a minute there. You've only got about 4 minutes to share. Is it a summary report? Yes. In fact, I think I even used that words in there somewhere, a 5-minute summary report or report presentation. So, by noting those things, do I need to dress up for that one? No. Now, don't dress down looking like you just came from the gym. But there's no need to dress up like a professional presentation. Do I need to have tech? Is it high tech or low tech?
No.
It's no tech, right.
No.
Now, if you want to wow us and you want to prepare 1 or 2 slides, then you'll have to organize it with me ahead of time and I'll have to get it loaded up. It's not a bad thing, but it's not necessary. This is the kind of thing you can just stand up here in front of everybody right here, give a 5-minute summation or summary. Here's the 3 individuals, here's the 3 research articles, kind of putting those things together. Here's what I learned and got out of it. Should I prepare an outline, Nick? Wouldn't hurt. I want a transition. No, but an outline could only be 3 points. If I interviewed 3 people and I researched only 3 articles, let's say you did the bare minimum. Now I'd tell you to interview 4 people and go get 5 research articles. But if you're gonna do just the bare minimum, you might not even need an outline for that. Because maybe all that stuff coalesces into 2 main points. Now you might wanna spend some time to give examples for those. You might wanna come up here and practice a few times so you don't talk too fast. But that's really not a hard one. So next week is what I would call a soft entry into that. The second presentation, though, clearly different is the professional research project. So, what's the time limit on that? 20 minutes? Significant grade or a low grade? Significant. Do I need to put a lot of time and effort into this one? Research-based? PowerPoint tech or low tech? High tech, yeah. Examples? Yes. Video? Only if it works. Needs to be a short video. What you don't want to do is have a video take up 5 to 7 to 10 minutes, and then you're only really speaking for the difference. So a couple minute video at the very best, and you really need to bring it into practice to make sure it plays out. Some computers won't allow the video to be played through the projector. If you've noticed in my leadership class, if I bring one laptop, it won't play through the projector, but the second laptop always plays through the projector. I can't explain that, it's just differences in tech, but you may want to practice that. Dress up for your professional presentation or no dress? Well, don't ever come to class no dress, but it's not a low dress situation, yeah. Business casual or better, so that's that cultural event dress attire. Outline, big time. Preparations, lots. Should I practice? Have Josh record it? Have your suite mates and classmates and roommates? Yes, you should. It's a big grade for that. And how about the last one? What's the last one we're doing? Succeed or fail, assignment. That's a fun one. The students really love that years past. What's the length of the presentation?
Short.
It's a 5-minute summary report. Even says in the document, 5-minute summary report presentation. So again, high tech or low tech? Low tech. Dress up or casual? Casual. Need a major outline or just a simple outline? Simple outline. So there again, so now you know how to approach it. Probably there's going to be more effort on your side to be put into that second of the three. Laying it out, make sure the substance of my research is really there. Remember, I got to have an annotated bibliography. So that's a lot of the research I'm gathering for that research project. The pass-fail communication doesn't require nearly as much effort. It should be more fun. I'm going to get more practical things out of it. The truth is that the first one and the third one will actually apply more to my professional development, the development side of me. And the second one is the significant research. That's more content and comprehension. Now, are there any questions about developing a good presentation and the three particular things that we have to present on in this class?
No.
So we're off Wednesday and Friday. I expect you to be working on your professional presentation. I expect you to be working on your annotated bibliography. We'll come in next week, so we'll meet here starting on Monday. And the first 6 of you, last names, and I'll send an email list out. I'll put those 3 dates together and send that out. By the way, I am sending out from rare occasion announcements with internships. I think I sent one out last week on Suit Up. I think I sent one out on Conference Carolina's internships and the NJCAA internship. So if you haven't gotten yours lined up and you see one that I send out, don't be afraid to ask more about it. I'll try to keep you guys informed. Also, I think tomorrow night is the Conference Carolina's Career Forum, and Dustin Foles, amongst many of the other compliance officers, are doing that 1 hour kind of a thing. So if you want to log into that, I gave you the link and the login for that, and you can join them.
7 p.m. via Zoom.
Yes, zooming in Tuesday night, 7 p.m., and that Zoom link was at the bottom of that, and that's in the announcements in Blackboard. So if you deleted the email, it's still in the announcements. You could go down to there. If there's any questions on the 3 presentations and some of the things that'll make you a better presenter, otherwise have a great day. I'll see some of you this afternoon for marketing and some tomorrow for leadership.